classic lines that come out of the mouths of narcissistic individuals. Now, we are all capable of saying manipulative things. However, it's the intentions behind the behaviour that differentiate the two. When it comes to narcissistic individuals, they don't want to take responsibility for the things they've done. It's somebody else's fault. Somebody else made them do it. They feel entitled to do as they please. They're incredibly exploitative and they lack the empathy to care. They're looking to protect their ego. They're looking to protect that belief that they are special. Genuine people can also be looking to protect their feelings, but not to manipulate another person. When it comes to a narcissistic individual, they will do some of the most cruelest, unkind, unnecessary things to you that hurt you. But they lack empathy, so they can't recognise this. They're just looking to get their needs met. You go to a narcissistic individual and explain how you feel, and they will go all out to make you feel worse. Not only will they go all out to make you feel worse, they will use these feelings against you in the future because they know what gets to you. So whenever you accidentally trigger a narcissistic injury, they will use these things to hurt you all the more. As they don't take responsibility, they're not looking to understand you, they're not looking to gain any knowledge because they believe they already know everything about you anyway. You tell them how you feel and they turn around and say, I'm sorry you feel that way. They're not sorry you feel that way. They don't care. They're just saying the word to shut you down. Now, a narcissistic individual can come on strong with the emotional blackmail. They're looking to guilt trip you into living life on their terms. They're looking to make you feel bad. Your narcissistic parents might invite you over at short notice and you can say, oh, I'm sorry, I've made arrangements with a friend. How about next week? And they get offended and they start saying, oh, well, what about me? What am I supposed to do? I've brought all this stuff in for us with no prior warning to you. They might gaslight you and say, I asked you last week, even though you know they didn't. And you can turn around to sort of shut down the conversation and say, I'm sorry you feel that way. Because you genuinely are sorry that they feel that way. Because 9 times out of 10 in the past, you've dropped your plans to serve them because you feel sorry for them. You feel bad for them. You want to help them. Only now you've decided to stand your ground because you can recognise their behaviour. A narcissistic individual can turn around and claim that their ex is crazy, their ex is obsessed, their ex is bitter, their ex is jealous, that their children don't appreciate them, that their family has no time for them. And as people can have family that have no time for them, or people that don't appreciate them, that just take advantage of them, we can sort of feel bad for them and want to help and support. And we often end up becoming an unwitting enabler to the narcissist and their games. What you'll often notice is narcissistic people talk about people. Genuine people tend to talk about the experience, and they also tend to question themselves and the role they played in the situation. To a narcissist, nothing is ever their fault. They will only admit fault in a way to place fear into you by claiming that the other person deserved it in some way, playing the martyr. If you try to give them any form of feedback, any form of advice, you find out some new exciting information and you go all pleased and happy and say, hey, I've just found this out. And they just turn around and say, don't you think I already know that? And they think, well, explain it to me then. And then they change the subject because they can't explain it to you because they don't already know that. But they believe that they already know everything. And we know within ourselves that we don't know everything. Even when we spend years learning a skill, there's new information that comes along. We can channel our energy into one thing. So a painter is going to know a lot more about painting than a non-painter. A footballer is going to know a lot more about football than a non-footballer. A dancer is going to know a lot more about dancing than a non-dancer. However, there's still areas we can all improve on, but with a narcissist, they don't need to improve. They're already the best at everything. A narcissistic individual, whenever you try to assert yourself, whenever you try to do what's right for you, will turn around and accuse you of being awkward and selfish and stubborn and not caring about them. Technically the narcissist projection, because they're awkward, they're selfish, they're stubborn, they lack the empathy to care about you. They're looking to manipulate you and make you feel bad, and as you question yourself, you often do, and then you change your plans to serve them, believing that you're the problem. They can turn around and say, it's not my fault. Now, when you weren't in the vicinity of something happening, such as a narcissistic individual reversing off the drive and hitting your car, and then coming in the house and saying it's your fault because you parked your car behind them, and you weren't even there. Now, yes, technically you parked your car behind them. However, it's down to them to take responsibility and have a look before they start reversing. So you can turn around and say, well, that's not my fault. Yes, I parked my car there, but I didn't make you drive yours into mine, which they will turn around and claim that you made them do it, because to a narcissist, nothing is ever their fault. It's always somebody else's. Something goes wrong at work, it's the boss who didn't instruct them right, it's the co-worker who didn't do the job right. It's never anything to do with them, which is why they don't improve who they are as a person, because they're not willing to admit to a mistake. They're not willing to learn. Mistakes aren't pleasant, don't get me wrong. And in a job, when your employer is depending on you and you make a mistake, it can be very nerve-wracking going to explain this to them, and it can seem easier just to pass the buck on to somebody else. However, it doesn't actually get you anywhere. Similar to when they say, I'm sorry you feel that way, a narcissistic individual, due to their lack of empathy, can be some of the most insensitive people you could ever meet. Try and explain how you're feeling to them. They lack the empathy to care. They're just going to accuse you of being too sensitive. They're going to provoke you in some of the most unimaginable ways in the hope that you react to them, so that they can blame you for being the problem and they can play the victim in the situation, and they can just accuse you of overreacting. Now, when someone comes to you with an outside situation and they're in that panic mode, you might accidentally say, whoa, calm down, stop overreacting, because you're looking at it from a calm place. They're not. However, you're trying to get them to calm down so that they can process what is happening. It's just sometimes it's not quite what they want to hear, and it's tricky finding the right words. However, you're wanting to get them to see the bigger picture. You're wanting to help them and support them. With a narcissist, they're wanting to shut you down. They're wanting to shut you up. They're wanting you to believe that there is something wrong with your reactions. A narcissist wants to convince you that your emotional reactions to their behavior are the problem, to distract you from the fact that their behavior is causing those emotional reactions within you. When a narcissist wants something from you or believes they're not getting their own way with you, they can just turn around and claim, after all I've done for you. Because to a narcissist, every action is a transaction. However, they're not interested in that give and take. They're interested in what you owe them. They don't owe you anything. You're lucky that they're willing to put up with you. You're lucky that you've got their presence. They believe they're special. They believe they're unique. They believe that other people are envious of them. They often turn on that charismatic charm to impress strangers, which gives them that false sense of security that people do admire them and people do look up to them. However, it's not who the narcissist actually is. The narcissist is usually mirroring those people and future faking with those people, and they're selling those people an illusion of who those people would like the narcissist to be. Or they're playing the victim of how the ex is crazy or obsessed, or their family didn't have time for them. And they're gaining that sympathetic attention. People feel sorry for them. And with a narcissistic individual, if you dare to try and walk away from them, they'll turn around and claim you'll never find someone like me, which is the whole point in breaking free, to learn the hideous experience you've been through and make sure you don't go through it again with somebody else. However, a narcissist isn't coming from that place. They believe they're the most important person in the room. They can't see why anyone wouldn't want to be with someone as amazing as they are. They believe that you're the problem. There's no helping them. We can often believe that we can. However, it's a hard enough job helping ourselves when we need the help and support. You can't help people who don't see an issue in their behaviour, only when they need to use it to lure you back into their trap and they see an issue. Yet once they've got you back, they revert back to the very person you were trying to escape from. If anyone has any thoughts on this behaviour or any classic narcissistic phrases that you heard, as there are quite a few of them, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you and to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. If you'd like to go and check those out, they'll be in the description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.